Welcome, my constant reader friends. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. All right, so, we're only going to have one more video in 2023. So, after this video, next Monday will be the last one of 2023. That one, I think I'm going to do my 10 favorite albums that were released in 2023 video. And then my first video in January, I'll go ahead and do, an update for the year and TBR for January. So what are we reading so far this week? Still continuing with Harrow County, Omnibus 1. You will see the video for the next series in our next episode in our series Tuesday for this. This is the read-along that I do with Grozz from the GKBC, and we call it Marvelous Team Up. So you'll see that on Tuesday. And don't have a lot in my stack here. Lonesome Dove, a novel by Larry McMurtry. Well, guess what? I finished it. So this is what we're going to talk about. So normally I'll just give you the numbers right out of the way. Of course, Lonesome Dove is actually it's called Lonesome Dove number 1. There are 2 other books in this series. Of course, it's by Larry McMurtry. It was originally published in June of 1985. My version is a book club edition, so it's one of the shorter ones, but it still was published in 1985, just not a first. And it has 821 pages, 102 chapters. Yeah, this is a beast. This is a long one. So, what can I say about it? If you look at my notes that I took for this book, you will see that I wrote Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I wrote published 1985, June of 1985, and then I have 821 pages. On Goodreads, on Goodreads, this book gets a 4.52 currently. After that, my notes have absolutely nothing. I have to tell you, this might be one of the worst books I've ever read. I don't like saying bad things about books. I was supposed to, we were doing this as another read along with Grozz, and we were supposed to read this in November. I'm the end of December, and I just finished reading it today. Yeah, it was a tough one. So when I was younger, when I was in high school, I would come home from school, football practice or whatever, and do my homework, and before I went to sleep, I would just read a little bit. And at that point, I was reading Westerns, Max Brand, Louis L'Amour, things like that, small paperback Westerns, and they were fun. Really, I guess that's the word I have to use, is they're fun. Nothing crazy, nothing, world stopping, nothing, brain, stopping that's going to make you, intellectualize anything. But that was it. Probably by the time I, graduated high school and went into college, I had stopped reading Westerns. And I had literally not read any Westerns ever since, for years and years. I was watching one of Grozz's channels, and I noticed that one of his videos a while back, he was reading a couple Westerns. And I was like, you know what? I should read some Westerns again. I haven't read Westerns in a long time. And he had mentioned that he wanted to read Lonesome Dove. And I said, sure, I'll do a read along with you. That's great. I'll get back into maybe enjoying some, easy reading Westerns. So we started this in November, and I will say right off the bat, it interests me. It grabbed me because, again, I hadn't read Westerns in years and years. I will say that Larry McMurtry's writing is, he's a good writer. I like his style, like his speed, his tempo. He's very descriptive. You can see in your brain everything that's happening. I liked it. Definitely not a difficult read at all. Not groundbreaking, but enjoyable. And it was a new subject again that I hadn't read in a while. Well, I got about 100 pages in, and I was like, yeah, it's not bad. I'm gonna enjoy this. By the time I got to 400 pages, I closed it. I closed the book and I set it down for several weeks because I was done with it. Again, I gave this book 2 stars in Goodreads. The only reason I gave it 2 stars was because Larry McMurtry is a decent writer. But there is no story really in this. There is nothing that is going to make you think of, oh, wow, It took over 400 pages before there was even any type of social commentary in it about the just murder of Native Americans in this country. There was nothing in it that very, very rare. Very minutely, they did discuss that the buffalo were being decimated, almost, destroyed completely. Just piles of bones, buffalo bones, that they would come across. So that's about the only social commentary it made in the book at all that would make you, think anything. The characters are horrible in this book. There's not a redeeming value in anybody in this book. I didn't like any of them. I didn't care about any of them. They were pretty much cardboard. All of the men are stupid, uneducated, drunken women abusers. That's all they do. Oh, and murderers. They just murder for whatever reason. They justify it. The 2 main guys in this story were ex-Texas Rangers, but they justified every murder that they did. Oh, well, you're a horse thief, so you have to be hung. Oh, you're an Indian, so you have to be killed. It's just ridiculous. You're a thief. We're going to drag you through the streets. Everything was justified. No trials. They didn't care. You were just killed. Indiscriminately, people were killed throughout the whole book. I'll give you a spoiler. Everyone dies. Pretty much everyone dies that's anything in the book for no reason, stupid reasons. One instance, the guy gets an arrow in the leg. The arrow goes gangrene, turns black, he gets infection. He has to have the leg amputated, but it had started to spread into his other leg, and he didn't want to have the other leg amputated. The doctor's like, I can amputate your other leg and it'll save your life. He's like, nope, he's just stubborn. I'm just going to sit here and drink whiskey and die. I'll just die because I don't want to have my other leg amputated. Okay. Another time, towards the end, the guy gets shot in the side, and he's bleeding, and he rides through town, but he avoids the town and doesn't want to go to the doctor because he doesn't like crowds. He doesn't like a lot of people. He doesn't like people. Every woman in here is a whore. Everyone except one. And then she even says, if the shoe would have been on the other foot, I would have done what I have to do. Because apparently that's all that women could do to survive, was become a whore, somehow meet a guy, trick a guy. This happened several times. Trick a guy into marrying you. So you don't have to be a whore anymore, but if the husband dies, because everyone dies, and before their time, you can just go back and be a whore. It's ridiculous. Stupid, uneducated, murderers, drunks, women abusers. The last word, I'm not lying, I can't make this up. The very last word in the book 821 pages is horror. Yep. I don't know. They drive these cattle from Texas to Montana to be the first ranchers in Montana, and then the guy turns around and leaves and goes back to Texas. Yeah. Just ridiculous. And then the whole time you're seeing these trials and tribulations of these people as they're driving these cattle, you know, across the country, and just crazy stuff happens that wasn't even realistic. Just people just dying for ridiculous reasons, getting killed for ridiculous reasons. Is it realistic? I don't know. I've seen and read a lot of Westerns, and yeah, it's a hard country, hard men, hard women. I understand that. But I don't even think it's realistic. Even the language that they use in this doesn't seem to be realistic to me. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. There's no one. Okay, Larry McMurtry's decent writer, so that's one redeeming value. The other one is, it was kind of funny. Two pigs travel as they're driving these cattle from Texas all the way to Montana, and they do mention that, wow, these are the only two pigs in the history of the world that traveled 3,000 miles through, you know, the country from Texas to Montana. I don't know. They get to Montana and bears eat some. It's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Sorry to be negative. Total waste of my time. I know Grozz didn't like it either. I don't know how on Goodreads it's got a 4.52 rating. I don't know. Again, I don't have anything else to say about it. So I'm sorry, guys. If this is a downer, right on Christmas, I'm sorry. I really wanted to read this book because I watched the TV series back in the day when I was young. Then I loved it. The TV series was great. And I was like, oh, someday I'll read Lonesome Dove. Yeah, no, I wish I hadn't. But, you know, I don't DNF books either. So, all right. So next week, we're going to talk about my favorite albums of the year. Please check that out. And then we'll go into a year wrap up and what the TBR is, starting my third year on BookTube. All right. As usual, if you find any entertaining value in my videos, please like and subscribe. Leave me comments. And until next time, peace out and Merry Christmas.